draft, I'm like, why be wrong? I mean, at least I think I'm not going to be wrong on picks, even though this year I don't even think I was 500. Nobody guesses the mock draft right. So I said this morning to the staff, I said, this is what I would do. This is what I think the team should do. I may go 0 for 10 on my guesses.
So these are less guesses and more what you would do if you were the GM.
Well, yeah, like I have 5 or 6 NFL GMs, maybe 7, that I text regularly.
But it's also your dream job.
It's my dream job. So it's my dream job. So this is what I would do, and this is my rationalization for every pick. So here's my top 10 picks. Okay, Jacksonville Jaguars. I would take the edge. He's a pure rush edge. Aiden Hutchinson. Highest-ranked college football player. I know what he is. Wildly productive. Led the Big Ten with 14 sacks. I know exactly what I get. He has all the production I need. I want production, not just traits. They also don't need a left tackle. Cam Robinson signed with them, so they don't need one of these offensive linemen. I'd go get big conference, big game, Aiden Hutchinson. Number 2, if I'm the Lions, I get the corner from Cincinnati, Sauce Gardner, who I actually think is the best player in the draft. But I don't think Jacksonville should go there. Sauce Gardner never allowed a passing touchdown in college. Did not allow a catch over 20 yards. Nick Saban said when they played him, they went away from him. And the Lions' pass defense allowed 69 touchdown passes last year. It stunk. The Lions drafted Jeff Okudah, a corner, a couple years ago, and it didn't work out. So what? Move him to 2. Try to save the pick. Go get a corner. You got Aaron Rodgers twice a year in the division. You got Minnesota's got Thielen and Justin Jefferson. Go get an elite corner. Number 3, Ike Ekwonu is an offensive lineman from NC State. Versatile, 0 miss. I don't know how great he'll be. 0 chance to miss. Great feet, 320. Allowed 2 sacks in 880 snaps. That is big boy football. The Texans' offensive line stinks, 29th in the league, and they're taking offers on Laramie Tunsil. So, to me, they don't have their quarterback yet. Maybe they do Davis Mills. We don't know. But give Davis Mills a shot. Go get the best offensive lineman probably in the draft. Number 4, if I'm the Jets, I take Kayvon Thibodeau, Oregon. Again, wildly productive like Aiden Hutchinson. Wildly productive, very dynamic. The Jets have not had a player with 10-plus sacks in 7 years. Muhammad Wilkerson. This kid was just a sack machine. Now, it is the Pac-12, which is not the SEC or the Big Ten. But to me, I talked to 2 GMs who I trust on him. They like him. They don't know if they love him, but he's going to play. He's twitchy. He's strong. The bottom line, if you just ask him to rush the passer, he can do that. Can he play in space? He can do that. Number 5, Giants. I'd go get Evan Neal, massive, mountain-sized left tackle, Alabama. Don't love his feet, but he's a 3-year starter under Nick Saban, 6'7", 320. The Giants had the 30th ranked offensive line. I was told by a member of the organization that the only offensive lineman they really like is Andrew Thomas, left tackle. Get Evan, move him right, whatever, get your tackles right for Daniel Jones. I don't think it's a great draft, but this is of great need, so I would go get him. Again, his feet can be a little slow, but that dude's going to be hard to get around. Number 6, this is probably a reach, but I would take Malik Willis if I was Carolina. They've already told Sam Darnold they're going to draft a quarterback, so just go draft the best one. I mean, why draft one in the 3rd round that's going to be not as good as Sam Darnold? He's wildly dynamic. And again, I think you can put him in the offense pretty early because of his raw athleticism. He'll figure out stuff. I wish the Niners last year would have played Trey Lance a little more. Get him in there. Let him make plays. Number 7, Giants again. Now, again, this is not going to happen, but I'd take Trayvon Walker. Most people think he's going to go number 1. He's not productive enough. He was a 1-year starter. He's not productive enough. That's not my thing. You got to give me numbers and sacks. Now, I do think he's a really big-time athlete, and everybody loves his traits, and he'll probably go number 1. But I say this all the time. Need over raw talent. Like, what do I need? To me, I look at the Giants. They could use this kind of athlete. But he did not play up to his potential at Alabama or at Georgia. He did not. I mean, you watched Georgia's defense this year. We didn't talk about this guy nearly as much as the linebackers. Number 8, Falcons. I would take Garrett Wilson, Ohio State wide receiver. I think he's the best receiver. Also, this matters. He got better every year at Ohio State. And Calvin Ridley's not around because of the gambling stuff. He'll be back next year. This receiving core is a mess. They lost Ridley and the other guy to the Bucs, so it's a tight end and a bunch of nonsense. He got better every year. He's Calvin Ridley for a year, then Calvin steps in, and those guys battle it out for number 1. But remember, the Falcons are going to get a quarterback next year. So wouldn't it be nice if you gave him Garrett Wilson with a year under his belt and Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts? Number 9, Seahawks. This is so Seahawks. I would take the cornerback Derek Stingley, who I have huge concerns about busting. He's never been as good as he was his freshman year, but the kid is ridiculous. 3-year starter at LSU, just long, athletic, fast. He is a sensational player. And by the way, you're in a division with probably a Deebo Samuel, a DeAndre Hopkins. The Rams got Cooper Kupp. I mean, the Rams got their Jalen Ramsey. Is he your Jalen Ramsey? So I would go get, and by the way, the one area I like for the Seahawks is safety. So you could really round out your secondary here. They don't have a lot of strengths in Seattle, but if this kid hits, you got a really nice secondary. You got lockdown corner and 2 really, really aggressive safeties. And then number 10, the Jets. They may trade out of it. I would take Charles Cross. Listen, Zach Wilson's your quarterback. You got to give this kid a fair chance. You got to give this kid a fair chance. He's probably going to – they're bailing on Mekhi Becton, the offensive tackle who's had weight issues and injury issues. Reportedly, they're bailing on him. He's a miss. And, they'll probably trade him draft day. But Cross is one of these guys that people don't see. Not a great chance. Maybe not an all-time left tackle. But, to me, if I was the Jets, I would go real heavy offensive in the draft. And there it is. I don't know if I'll get any of these right. This is what I would do. This is what I would do. And I'd probably go 0 for 10. Let's bring in Joel Klatt. He's in Vegas. Klatt doesn't feel like a Vegas guy. My rule is just pay the stars. All sports, all industry. Pay the stars. Everything else will figure itself out. Listen, Kawhi Leonard, Spurs. You're not going to find another Kawhi. I know he gets hurt, but what have you been since he left? Just pay him. Figure it out. Now, when you pay the stars, it doesn't always work exactly like you want to. Green Bay's not winning the Super Bowls they want to, but it's way harder to replace Aaron Rodgers. That's way harder than paying a star and not getting the great results. Green Bay's not firing people left and right. They may not be winning Super Bowls. There's not chaos in the organization. Pay the star. If you don't win Super Bowls, if you're good, you're viable, you're a playoff team, nobody's getting fired. It's not chaos. Arizona without Kyler Murray, you're going to have some chaos. So, in fact, that's why I said the Seattle Seahawks are going to spend the better part of a decade or more trying to find Russell Wilson. That's why it's not a terrible idea for the Seahawks to let go of Bobby Wagner, gut the team, play Drew Lock, finish 4th, win 4 games, and get a top 2 pick, and then get C.J. Stroud next year from Ohio State. It's not a terrible idea. The easiest way to explain why Arizona needs Kyler Murray is about 3,000 miles away from Kyler Murray in Boston. Bill Belichick, since Tom Brady left, Bill Belichick, best coach ever, is a 500 coach. Yeah. Kyle Shanahan, let's go 3,000 miles back to the West Coast. Kyle Shanahan, San Francisco, great young coach. Only young coach that gives Sean McVay in the Rams fits. He's significantly under 500 without Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not saying Brady, I'm not saying Favre. Without Jimmy Garoppolo, he's way under 500. You need a catalyst. Kyler Murray's a catalyst, okay? This is all what we predicted. Arizona needs Kyler, and frankly, they've done Kyler well. They got him DeAndre Hopkins. They've gotten him good tight ends. They got him an offensive coach. They kind of build the offense around him. They build that offense around Kyler more than Pete Carroll would build his offense around Russell Wilson. They went and got him a college coach who tried to recruit him. They've really made it work for him, and he's made it work for them. They were in a bad spot. They drafted a quarterback. They had a coach. Neither worked. Kyler saved the franchise and jobs. And just to think about this, if you think paying him a fortune's too much, this draft has, in my opinion, and most observers' opinion, one legitimate first-round quarterback. And he's only played against Division I teams twice and didn't throw a touchdown in either one of those games. And next year, there's 2 really high-end quarterbacks, Bryce Young, Alabama, to me, is a little small. C.J. Stroud, Ohio State, I think is going to be a pretty good player. So we already know the floor for Kyler Murray. The floor is, in a season with a coach we're not sure is great, losing his best receiver in the toughest division in football, he got you into the playoffs. That's the floor. So if he doesn't get hurt, I do think Kingsbury's getting a little bit better every year. The Seahawks won't be as good, so the division won't be as good. Russell Wilson's out. The floor right now is, even injured, even missing DeAndre Hopkins, in that division, which won't be as good next year, he'll get you to the playoffs. Pay your stars. Just figure it out later. Pay him. Doesn't always work, but it's much harder to find the next Kyler Murray than it is to write that check every week and watch him win games and keep you in games. That's not hard to do. You'll find the money. NFL's got money. There's gambling money and fan money and TV money and made of money. Not a lot of Kyler Murrays. All right.